you doing up here? Guess Susie doesn't. That is, there would be if I had me.
Great. Are you building that thing?
I'm keeping this quiet.
I know.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the AliExpert Fortune channel. It's great to have you all here today. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Today we'll be diving into the 2007 film, Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. Acknowledged. The Fantastic Four, a quartet of extraordinary individuals forever changed by a cosmic storm, found themselves facing a threat unlike any they had encountered before. Reed Richards, ever the brilliant scientist, the Mr. Fantastic, whose mind could bend reality as easily as his body, had spent years dedicated to understanding the universe's mysteries. His scientific curiosity, fueled by a childhood fascination with the impossible, now had to confront an entity of immense power. This entity arrived in the form of the Silver Surfer, a cosmic herald sent by the planet-devouring Galactus. The Surfer, a being of immense grace and power, glided through Earth's atmosphere on his surfboard, leaving a trail of destruction as he prepared the planet for his master's arrival. His stoic demeanor hid a profound internal conflict, a consequence of his servitude to Galactus, a destiny he seemed to reluctantly fulfill. Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, whose powers of invisibility and force field generation stemmed from her innate ability to shield and protect, felt the impending danger keenly. Her compassionate nature, a core part of her being, was deeply disturbed by the surfer's destructive path. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, the impulsive and fiery heart of the team, whose power to engulf himself in flames and fly was as volatile as his personality, was eager to confront this new threat head-on. His youthful exuberance, often leading him into trouble, was now channeled into a fierce determination to defend his home. And Ben Grimm, the Thing, the immensely strong and durable rock-skinned powerhouse whose gruff exterior masked a gentle soul, understood the weight of responsibility that came with their powers. His transformation, a constant reminder of the accident that bound them, had taught him the value of resilience and protecting those who couldn't protect themselves. Reed, driven by his unyielding pursuit of knowledge, managed to capture the Silver Surfer, hoping to understand the alien's motives and the nature of Galactus. This act, while scientifically motivated, put them in direct conflict with the Surfer's mission and, by extension, Galactus himself. Sue, utilizing her powers, worked to contain the Surfer, her protective instincts working overtime. Johnny, in a moment of characteristic bravado, attempted to engage the Surfer in a fiery aerial battle, a dazzling display of their contrasting powers. The Surfer, however, proved to be an insurmountable challenge. His cosmic energy, a force of nature in itself, repelled their every attempt. He revealed the grim truth. Galactus was coming to consume Earth, a cosmic necessity to sustain his own existence. This revelation plunged the Fantastic Four into despair, for how could they possibly stand against such an all-powerful being? Reed, under immense pressure, worked tirelessly to find a solution, his mind racing through theoretical physics and alien technologies. He discovered that the Surfer's cosmic energy was linked to a cosmic key, a device that controlled the Surfer's powers and potentially his allegiance. This inspired a daring plan, one that would require the combined might and ingenuity of the entire team. The climax saw the Fantastic Four united in purpose, confronting both the Silver Surfer and the looming shadow of Galactus. Reed, with Sue's strategic assistance, managed to manipulate the cosmic key, creating a surge of energy that momentarily disrupted the Surfer's control. Johnny, in a desperate gambit, used his powers to amplify the surge, while Ben, with his incredible strength, shielded them from the ensuing cosmic backlash. Their actions, however, had an unexpected consequence. The disruption of the cosmic key, coupled with the Surfer's own internal struggle, caused a monumental shift. The Surfer, finally breaking free from Galactus's dominion, turned his formidable powers against his former master. In a breathtaking display of cosmic warfare, the Silver Surfer engaged Galactus, diverting him from Earth. The world was saved, not by brute force alone, but by a combination of scientific brilliance, unwavering determination, and a profound act of defiance from a being who had finally found his own will. The Fantastic Four, battered but triumphant, had faced the ultimate cosmic threat and emerged victorious, forever etching their names in the annals of Earth's protectors, a testament to the extraordinary power that lay within them, both individually and as a unified force. The arrival of the Silver Surfer was a chilling spectacle, a herald of a cosmic hunger that threatened to engulf their world. Reed Richards, the visionary scientist whose boundless intellect had always been his greatest weapon, felt a familiar tremor of awe mixed with dread. His childhood dreams of exploring the furthest reaches of space and unraveling the universe's grand design were now colliding with a terrifying reality. He saw in the Surfer not just an adversary, but a puzzle, a profound enigma born from the vast, indifferent cosmos. The Surfer's sleek metallic form and the impossibly swift glide of his board spoke of an ancient power, a power wielded with a dispassionate efficiency that unnerved Reed more than any raw aggression could have. Sue Storm, the emotional anchor of the team, felt the planet's fear as a palpable wave. Her power to manipulate force fields and render herself invisible was intrinsically linked to her maternal instincts, her deep-seated need to protect those she loved. The surfer's destructive wake, the silent yet potent message of impending doom, struck at the core of her being. She envisioned the faces of innocent people, the homes that would be lost, and her resolve hardened, her shields becoming not just a physical barrier, but a bulwark against despair. She understood that sometimes the most crucial battles were fought not with fire or brute strength, but with unwavering hope and meticulous defense. Johnny Storm, always the embodiment of youthful exuberance and unchecked passion, saw the surfer as the ultimate challenge, a fiery test of his own incandescent abilities. His transformation into the Human Torch had given him a freedom he'd never imagined, the ability to soar and burn with the intensity of a supernova. But this freedom also came with a recklessness, a tendency to rush headlong into danger. Facing the surfer, he felt that familiar spark of bravado, the urge to prove his mettle against the seemingly invincible. His desire to protect was a burning ember, ready to ignite into a raging inferno, and Ben Grimm, the bedrock of the team, felt the familiar ache of his rocky exterior. He was the shield, the immovable object, his immense strength a stark contrast to the gentle giant beneath. His transformation had been a tragedy, a curse that had alienated him from the life he knew, but it had also forged in him a profound understanding of sacrifice and the true meaning of heroism. He saw the surfer not as a personal affront, but as a threat to the fragile normalcy they had fought so hard to achieve, a normalcy he yearned for more than anything. His loyalty to his friends, and to the world they defended, was as solid and unyielding as his granite skin. When Reed managed to incapacitate the surfer, a sense of scientific triumph mingled with a gnawing unease. He saw the alien's pain, a flicker of something human beneath the cosmic facade, and his curiosity, his lifelong pursuit of understanding, warred with the immediate need for security. Sue, with quiet determination, maintained the containment, her force fields shimmering like a protective embrace. Johnny, unable to resist a direct confrontation, launched himself into the sky, his flames a defiant dance against the surfer's chilling aura. The ensuing aerial ballet, a clash of light and shadow, of raw power and controlled energy, was a spectacle of cosmic proportions. The surfer's revelations were delivered with a weary resignation, a confession of his servitude to a being of unimaginable power. Galactus, the devourer of worlds, was not merely a villain, but a force of nature, a cosmic imperative. The weight of this truth settled upon the Fantastic Four like a shroud. Reed, his mind a whirlwind of calculations and theoretical impossibilities, felt the pressure to find a solution, a loophole in the fabric of cosmic law. He delved into the surfer's technology, his alien physiology, searching for any weakness, any lever that could be pulled. The discovery of the cosmic key, a device that apparently tethered the surfer to Galactus's will, ignited a desperate hope, a plan so audacious it bordered on madness. The final confrontation was a desperate gamble, a symphony of their powers orchestrated by Reed's brilliant strategy. Sue's shields absorbed the initial shockwaves, her unwavering focus a beacon in the storm. Johnny unleashed his full fury, a torrent of flame amplified by the key's volatile energy. Ben stood firm, a mountain of muscle and resolve, deflecting the destructive feedback that threatened to tear them apart. The surfer, caught between his programming and the flicker of defiance ignited by the Fantastic Four's actions, made his choice. In a moment of profound self-liberation, he turned on his master, his cosmic energy now a weapon of rebellion. The ensuing battle between the surfer and Galactus was a cataclysm, a celestial ballet of destruction and salvation that saw the devourer of worlds turned away from Earth. The Fantastic Four, having faced the abyss and stared into the void, had not only saved their planet, but had also witnessed a being reclaim his own destiny. a testament to the enduring power of free will in even the most cosmic of struggles. The sheer scale of the impending doom was almost incomprehensible. Galactus, a cosmic entity whose existence was measured in millennia and whose sustenance was the very fabric of planets, represented a threat far beyond anything humanity had ever conceived. Reed Richards, whose entire life had been dedicated to pushing the boundaries of human understanding, found himself staring into the face of an existential crisis. He saw the Silver Surfer not just as an enemy, but as a harbinger, a living testament to forces beyond his wildest theories. The Surfer's journey across the cosmos, a silent, inexorable march towards Earth, was a chilling reminder of how small and fragile their world truly was. Reed's relentless pursuit of knowledge, once a source of wonder and excitement, now felt like a desperate race against an unstoppable clock. He recognized in the Surfer's movements a precision, a calculated efficiency that spoke of a vast, ancient purpose, a purpose that was utterly indifferent to the lives it would extinguish. Sue Storm, her powers a manifestation of her nurturing spirit, felt the collective fear of billions reverberating through her. She was the guardian, the one whose very essence was to protect, and the Surfer's destructive path was a direct assault on everything she held dear. Her invisible shields weren't just a defensive barrier, they were an extension of her will, a testament to her unwavering commitment to safeguarding life. The thought of innocent families, of homes reduced to dust, fueled a quiet fury within her. She understood that true strength wasn't just about power, but about resilience, about holding the line even when hope seemed to dwindle. Her empathy, a quality often seen as a weakness, was in fact her greatest asset, allowing her to connect with and understand the gravity of their situation on a deeply human level. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, the embodiment of youthful impetuosity and raw power, saw the Surfer as the ultimate test of his fiery spirit. His ability to burst into flames and soar through the sky was more than just a power. It was a release, a liberation from the mundane. But this freedom also came with a certain recklessness, a tendency to act before thinking. Facing the Surfer, he felt that familiar surge of adrenaline, the burning desire to prove himself, to meet overwhelming force with overwhelming flame. His protectiveness, though often expressed through bravado, was genuine, a fierce loyalty that drove him to defend his teammates and his world with every ounce of his being. He longed to be the one to extinguish the threat, to be the bright light that repelled the encroaching darkness. Ben Grimm, the Thing, the solid, unyielding rock of their team, bore the weight of their predicament with stoic resolve. His rocky exterior, a constant reminder of the accident that had transformed him, hid a heart that ached for normalcy. He understood the responsibility that came with their extraordinary abilities, the duty to stand as a shield for those who had none. He saw the Surfer not as a personal enemy, but as a force that threatened the fragile peace they had fought so hard to maintain. His gruff demeanor belied a deep sense of loyalty and a profound understanding of sacrifice. He was the anchor, the one who would stand firm when everyone else was being swept away, his immense strength a promise of unwavering defense. When Reed, through sheer scientific ingenuity, managed to capture the Silver Surfer, a complex mixture of relief and apprehension washed over the team. Reed's scientific mind, ever seeking to understand, grappled with the Surfer's stoic agony, a silent plea that resonated even through his alien form. Sue, her shields a testament to her protective nature, maintained the containment, her focus unwavering as she sensed the immense cosmic energies at play. Johnny, unable to contain his fiery spirit, saw the capture as an opportunity for direct confrontation, his flames a vibrant counterpoint to the Surfer's cold, cosmic aura. The ensuing aerial clash was a breathtaking display of contrasting powers, a dazzling, destructive ballet against the backdrop of an indifferent sky. The Surfer's confession, delivered with a weariness that hinted at eons of servitude, revealed the terrifying truth. Galactus was not a monster to be defeated, but a fundamental force of the universe, a cosmic necessity. This revelation struck the Fantastic Four like a physical blow, plunging them into a shared despair. Reed, his brilliant mind racing through every theoretical possibility, felt the crushing weight of responsibility. He obsessively studied the surfer's technology, his alien biology, searching for any weakness, any loophole in the cosmic machinery. The discovery of the cosmic key, a device that seemed to hold the surfer's very will captive, ignited a desperate, audacious plan, a gamble that hinged on the combined strength and courage of them all. The climactic confrontation was a maelstrom of cosmic energy and desperate courage. Sue's shields, a shimmering bastion of defense, absorbed the initial onslaught, her resolve a steady force amidst the chaos. Johnny unleashed his full inferno, the cosmic key amplifying his flames into a blinding supernova, a defiance of the darkness. Ben stood as an unmoving monolith, his granite form absorbing the destructive backlash, a testament to his unwavering strength and loyalty. The surfer, caught in the surge of energy and the desperate hope ignited by the Fantastic Four's actions, made his choice. In a moment of profound self-liberation, he turned his formidable cosmic power against his former master, a rebellion born of desperation and a flicker of rediscovered freedom. The ensuing battle between the surfer and Galactus was a celestial war, a cataclysmic spectacle that ultimately diverted the devourer of worlds from Earth. The Fantastic Four, battered but unbowed, had not only saved their planet, but had also witnessed the extraordinary triumph of free will in the face of cosmic determinism, a testament to the enduring power of hope and defiance, even in the darkest of times. The aftermath of the cosmic storm left a profound silence in its wake, a quiet broken only by the weary sighs of the Fantastic Four. Earth was safe, a truth they savored with a deep collective breath, but the experience had irrevocably altered them. Reed Richards, his mind still buzzing with the complex physics of cosmic energy and the implications of Galactus's existence, felt a new weight of responsibility settle upon him. His insatiable curiosity, once a pure pursuit of knowledge, now carried the burden of global protection. He understood that the universe held wonders beyond comprehension, but also horrors that demanded constant vigilance. The fleeting glimpse of Galactus, a being so vast and ancient, had instilled in him a humility that science alone could not provide. He began to dedicate himself to developing technologies that could not only explore the cosmos, but also shield their world from its more malevolent forces, a constant balancing act between discovery and defense. Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, found her protective instincts amplified. The fear she had felt for her team and for humanity had solidified into an unshakable resolve. She had witnessed firsthand the fragility of life and the immense power required to preserve it. Her force fields, once a means of shielding her friends in playful sparring, now felt like sacred wards, extensions of her very soul. She continued to hone her abilities, not for the sake of power, but for the absolute certainty that she could shield them all from any future threat. Her emotional resilience, tested to its limits, had emerged stronger, allowing her to provide a calming presence even in the face of unimaginable danger. She knew that sometimes the greatest strength lay not in the ability to fight, but in the unwavering capacity to protect. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, felt the lingering embers of his fiery battle, a potent reminder of his own power and the responsibility that came with it. The thrill of facing the Silver Surfer, though terrifying, had also been exhilarating, a peak experience for his volatile spirit. He had learned that brute force, while impressive, was not always the answer. He began to temper his impulsiveness with a newfound strategic thinking, understanding that his flames could be used not just to destroy, but to illuminate, to divert, and even to inspire. He remained the team's energetic heart, But his youthful recklessness had been tempered by a growing maturity, a recognition that his actions had consequences far beyond the immediate moment. Ben Grimm, the Thing, felt the familiar ache of his rocky form, but it was now accompanied by a quiet sense of pride. He had stood firm against a cosmic onslaught, a literal rock in the storm. His transformation, once a source of despair, had become a symbol of their resilience. He understood that his strength was a gift, a tool to defend those he cared about. He found a new purpose in his gruff exterior, seeing it as a reassuring presence for the people they protected, a constant reminder that even in the face of impossible odds, there was someone strong enough to stand against the darkness. He continued to be the team's unwavering anchor, his loyalty and courage as solid and unyielding as his granite skin, always ready to face whatever the universe might throw at them next. The world, unaware of the true scale of the threat it had averted, continued its everyday existence. But for the Fantastic Four, life had changed forever. They were no longer just a group of individuals with extraordinary abilities. They were guardians entrusted with the safety of their planet. Their adventures, once driven by scientific curiosity and a desire for discovery, now had a profound undercurrent of protection, a constant awareness of the vast, untamed universe and their place within it as its unlikely yet determined defenders. They had stared into the face of cosmic oblivion and emerged not unscathed, but undeniably stronger, their bond forged in the crucible of intergalactic conflict, ready for whatever challenges the future might hold. The echoes of the Silver Surfer's departure and the terrifying unseen presence of Galactus lingered long after the immediate danger had passed. For Reed Richards, the scientist whose mind constantly wrestled with the universe's enigmas, this cosmic encounter was both a profound validation of his lifelong pursuit of the unknown and a stark, humbling lesson in its inherent dangers. His childhood fascination with the impossible had led him to the brink of existential dread, and now the weight of that knowledge pressed upon him. He realized that understanding the cosmos was not merely an academic exercise, it was a solemn duty to protect the fragile world that had been so nearly consumed. His laboratory, once a playground for theoretical physics, now became a hub of innovation focused on advanced defense systems, a testament to his evolved perspective. He pored over ancient texts and alien schematics, searching for any weakness, any preemptive measure that could safeguard Earth from future cosmic calamities, his brilliance now a shield as much as a tool for exploration. Sue Storm, the gentle heart of the team, found her inherent protectiveness amplified to an almost instinctual level. The visceral fear she had experienced, not just for herself and her team, but for every innocent life on the planet, had forged an unshakable resolve within her. Her invisibility and force fields, powers born from a desire to shield and nurture, now felt like sacred extensions of her being. She practiced tirelessly, pushing the limits of her abilities, not to achieve greater power, but to ensure an impenetrable barrier, a steadfast defense against any threat, no matter how gargantuan. Her empathy, once perceived by some as a softness, had proven to be a profound wellspring of strength, allowing her to connect with the gravity of their situation and to remain a calming beacon amidst the chaos, reminding them all of what they were fighting for. Johnny Storm, the fiery Human Torch, felt the residual heat of his most epic battle still thrumming within him. The raw power he wielded, once a source of exhilaration and sometimes recklessness, now carried a more sober weight. He had faced an opponent who wielded cosmic energy on a scale that dwarfed his own, and while his bravado had been a crucial part of their strategy, he recognized the need for more than just raw power. He began to temper his impulsive nature with a growing sense of strategic discipline, understanding that his flames could be a tool of precise intervention, capable of diverting, illuminating, and even offering a beacon of hope rather than just destruction. He remained the team's vibrant spirit, his youthful energy undimmed, but his actions were now guided by a newfound maturity, a keen awareness of the ripple effects his powers could have. Ben Grimm, the steadfast thing, felt the familiar, comforting weight of his rocky form. It was no longer a symbol of his misfortune, but a badge of honor, a testament to his resilience. He had been their unyielding bulwark against an existential threat, a literal rock in the cosmic storm. His gruff exterior, once a barrier against the world, now served as a reassuring presence, a silent promise of unwavering protection to the people of Earth. He found a profound sense of purpose in his strength, not as a weapon of aggression, but as a means to defend the innocent, to stand as a guardian against the encroaching darkness. His loyalty to his friends and his commitment to their shared mission remained as steadfast and unbreakable as his granite skin, preparing him for whatever cosmic challenge might arise next. The world, blissfully unaware of the cosmic drama that had unfolded above their heads, continued its daily rhythm. But for the Fantastic Four, life had been irrevocably transformed. They were no longer simply explorers of the unknown or accidental heroes. They had become the vigilant guardians of their planet, their adventures now imbued with a profound sense of responsibility. Their journeys outward, once driven by pure scientific curiosity and a thirst for discovery, were now tempered by the constant awareness of the vast, untamed universe and their critical role within it. They had faced the abyss, stared into the void of cosmic annihilation, and emerged not unscathed but undeniably stronger, their bond a testament to their shared trials, ready to face the future, whatever it might hold. The lingering cosmic dust had settled, but the imprint of the Silver Surfer's passage and the dread of Galactus's potential return remained etched into the very fabric of the Fantastic Four's existence. Reed Richards, the architect of their extraordinary lives, found himself forever changed. His scientific curiosity, once a boundless exploration of the theoretical, now carried the immense weight of practical responsibility. The universe, he understood with a newfound clarity, was a place of both sublime beauty and terrifying power, and his intellect was now irrevocably tasked with bridging that chasm, ensuring Earth's safety against forces that defied conventional understanding. His childhood dreams of the impossible had become a sober mandate, his laboratory a fortress of defense as much as a sanctuary of discovery. He began to delve into the mechanics of cosmic energy with a fervent, almost obsessive focus, not just to comprehend it, but to neutralize its destructive potential. Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, her innate nurturing spirit now amplified by the near cataclysm, felt the pulse of the world's vulnerability more keenly than ever. Her powers, once a means of playful evasion and protection for her friends, now felt like sacred instruments, extensions of her unwavering will to safeguard life. The terror she had witnessed and felt had not broken her. It had tempered her into an unyielding shield, her force fields a tangible manifestation of her resolve. She practiced with a quiet intensity, her focus razor-sharp, ensuring that her ability to disappear and create protective barriers was honed to perfection, ready to intercept any future threat. Her compassion, once seen as a gentle characteristic, had revealed itself as a profound, indomitable strength, a constant reminder to the team of the preciousness of what they were defending. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, carried the fiery memory of his aerial battles with a mixture of exhilaration and newfound respect for the forces at play. His impetuous spirit, always eager to blaze a trail, had been chastened by the sheer scale of cosmic power he had encountered. He began to understand that his flames, while potent, were not an invincible weapon, but a tool that required precision and strategic application. He learned to harness his energy not just for explosive attacks, but for more nuanced interventions, for diverting threats or even providing a guiding light in the encroaching darkness. He remained the vibrant, energetic core of the team, but his youthful exuberance was now underscored by a growing maturity, a keen understanding of the far-reaching consequences of his actions. Ben Grimm, the Thing, found a deeper resonance in his stony form. The granite that had once felt like a prison now felt like a steadfast anchor, a symbol of their enduring resilience. He had literally stood firm against a cosmic onslaught, his immense strength a tangible bulwark against the unimaginable. His gruff exterior, once a defense mechanism against a world that feared him, now conveyed a sense of reassuring solidity, a silent promise of protection to the ordinary people who looked to the Fantastic Four as their guardians. His loyalty, as unshakable as his rocky hide, remained the bedrock of their team, a constant reminder that even in the face of cosmic terror, there was an unyielding force ready to defend them. The world, blissfully ignorant of the monumental struggle that had taken place, resumed its ordinary course. But for the Fantastic Four, the adventure had transcended mere discovery. It had become a solemn vow. They were no longer just explorers or accidental heroes. They were the planet's appointed sentinels, their explorations now underscored by a profound sense of guardianship. Their lives, once dictated by scientific curiosity and the thrill of the unknown, were now intrinsically tied to the vast, often perilous expanse of the cosmos and their crucial, albeit unlikely, role within it. They had faced the precipice of oblivion and emerged not unscathed, but irrevocably bonded, their courage tempered, their purpose solidified, ready for whatever cosmic destinies might unfold. The silence that followed the surfer's departure was profound, a quiet laden with the memory of cosmic fury and the chilling specter of Galactus. For Reed Richards, the scientific mind that had always reached for the stars, this encounter had been a stark dichotomy of wonder and terror. His childhood fascination with the impossible had materialized into a terrifying, tangible threat, forcing him to confront the limits of human knowledge. The universe was no longer just a subject of study. It was a realm of immense power that demanded constant vigilance. His laboratory, once a hub of pure scientific inquiry, transformed into a center for developing advanced defense mechanisms, a testament to his evolving understanding of his role. He pored over data, ancient alien texts, and theoretical projections, seeking not just answers, but solutions, a means to arm Earth against the cosmic predators that lurked in the void. His brilliance was now a shield, his pursuit of knowledge a solemn duty. Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, felt the near annihilation of her world resonate deep within her soul. Her powers, born from a desire to protect and nurture, had been tested to their absolute limits, and in doing so had become something more profound. The fear that had gripped her had not weakened her. It had forged an unyielding resolve, transforming her into a living bastion of defense. She saw her force fields not just as barriers, but as extensions of her very will, each shimmering wall a testament to her unwavering commitment to safeguarding life. She trained with a quiet intensity, her focus absolute, ensuring that her ability to vanish and erect impenetrable shields was honed to a fine art. Her compassion, once a gentle trait, had revealed its true power, a source of immense strength that reminded her and the team of the irreplaceable value of what they fought to preserve. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, felt the lingering heat of his most intense battle, a powerful reminder of the raw energy he commanded. The exhilaration of facing the Silver Surfer, though undeniably terrifying, had also been an intoxicating peak, pushing him to his limits. He had learned that sheer power, while impressive, was not always the decisive factor. His impetuous spirit, always eager to burn brightly, began to be tempered by a nascent understanding of strategy. He started to see his flames not just as a tool of destruction, but as a means of precise intervention, capable of diverting threats, illuminating the darkness, and even offering a beacon of hope. He remained the team's energetic heart, his youthful exuberance undimmed, but his actions were now guided by a growing maturity, a keen awareness of the far-reaching consequences of his powers. Ben Grimm, the Thing, found a new meaning in the unyielding nature of his rocky form. The granite that had once felt like a curse now felt like a steadfast anchor, a symbol of their collective resilience. He had literally stood as a literal bulwark against a cosmic storm, his immense strength a tangible defense against the unimaginable. His gruff exterior, once a shield against a world that often feared him, now conveyed a sense of comforting solidity, a silent promise of unwavering protection to the ordinary people who looked to the Fantastic Four as their guardians. His loyalty, as unshakable as his granite hide, remained the bedrock of their team, a constant reminder that even in the face of overwhelming cosmic terror, there was an unyielding force ready to defend them, prepared for whatever challenges the universe might next unleash. The world, blissfully unaware of the cosmic drama that had unfolded high above, continued its ordinary trajectory. But for the Fantastic Four, life had been irrevocably altered. They were no longer merely adventurers seeking the next scientific marvel or accidental heroes thrust into extraordinary circumstances. They had become the planet's appointed sentinels, their explorations now carrying a profound sense of guardianship. Their lives, once defined by scientific curiosity and the thrill of the unknown, were now inextricably bound to the vast, often perilous expanse of the cosmos, and their critical, albeit unlikely, role within it. They had gazed into the abyss, stared into the void of cosmic annihilation, and emerged not unscathed, but irrevocably bonded, their courage tempered, their purpose solidified, forever ready for whatever cosmic destinies might unfold. The immediate aftermath of the Silver Surfer's departure and the averted doom of Galactus left an enduring, almost palpable shift in the Fantastic Four's dynamic. Reed Richards, the ever-searching scientist, found his intellectual pursuits irrevocably interwoven with a sense of profound global responsibility. His fascination with the unknown, once a purely academic pursuit, was now colored by the chilling realization of the universe's terrifying capacity for destruction. He saw his laboratory not just as a place of discovery, but as the front line of Earth's defense, a crucible where his brilliant mind worked to devise countermeasures against threats that lay beyond mortal comprehension. His childhood dreams of the impossible had morphed into a sober, relentless dedication to the preventable, his brilliance now a shield against the cosmic unknown. Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, felt the weight of her protective role deepen with an almost primal intensity. The terror she had experienced, not just for her team but for every soul on the planet, had forged an unshakable resolve within her. Her powers, which allowed her to fade from sight and generate impenetrable force fields, became extensions of her deepest maternal instincts. She trained with a quiet, unwavering focus, pushing the boundaries of her abilities not for personal power, but to ensure an absolute, impenetrable defense, a testament to her commitment to safeguarding life. Her empathy, once perceived as a gentle trait, had revealed itself as a formidable strength, a constant reminder of the preciousness of what they were fighting to preserve, her presence a calming beacon amidst the encroaching shadows. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, felt the lingering heat of his epic cosmic battles, a powerful testament to the immense energy he commanded. The thrill of confronting the Silver Surfer, while undeniably terrifying, had also been an intoxicating experience, pushing him to his absolute limits. He began to understand that raw power, while impressive, was not always the ultimate answer. His naturally impetuous spirit, always eager to blaze a trail, started to mature, recognizing the need for strategic application of his fiery abilities. He learned to harness his flames not just for explosive destruction, but for more nuanced interventions, capable of diverting threats, illuminating the encroaching darkness, or even serving as a guiding beacon of hope. He remained the team's vibrant, energetic core, his youthful exuberance undimmed, but his actions were now guided by a growing maturity, a keen awareness of the far-reaching consequences of his powers. Ben Grimm, the Thing, found a new depth of meaning in the unyielding nature of his rocky form. The granite that had once felt like a prison now symbolized their collective resilience. He had literally stood as an unmovable bulwark against a cosmic onslaught, his immense strength a tangible defense against the unimaginable. The world, blissfully unaware of the monumental struggle that had unfolded high above, continued its ordinary trajectory, its daily rhythms unbroken. They had become the planet's appointed sentinels, their explorations now imbued with a profound sense of guardianship. They had gazed into the abyss, stared into the void of cosmic annihilation, and emerged not unscathed, but irrevocably bonded. Their courage tempered, their purpose solidified, forever ready for whatever cosmic destinies might unfold, their shared experiences forging a bond stronger than any cosmic force. The lingering dust of cosmic energy had long since settled, yet the profound impact of the Silver Surfer's chilling passage and the lurking dread of Galactus's insatiable hunger remained indelibly etched onto the very beings that constituted the Fantastic Four. For Reed Richards, the visionary scientist whose mind had always danced on the precipice of the universe's grandest mysteries, this monumental encounter was a stark, dual revelation. It served as both a resounding validation of his lifelong quest for the unknown, a testament to his childhood dreams of unraveling the impossible, and a deeply humbling, terrifying lesson in its inherent, devastating dangers. The cosmos, he now understood with a chilling clarity, was not merely a canvas of scientific wonder, but a realm teeming with forces that could, and very nearly did, extinguish all life. His laboratory, once a sanctuary for theoretical exploration, transformed into a war room, a think tank dedicated to devising defenses against threats that defied the very laws of physics as he knew them. His brilliance, once a tool for discovery, was now irrevocably bound to the solemn duty of protection, his nights spent wrestling with cosmic mechanics, seeking not just understanding, but the means to neutralize the universe's most ravenous appetites. Sue Storm, the invisible woman, whose very essence was tied to the act of shielding and nurturing, found her protective instincts amplified to an almost primal intensity. The visceral terror she had experienced, not just for her chosen family but for every single life on Earth, had forged an unshakable, unyielding resolve within her. Her extraordinary abilities, the power to vanish and to generate force fields of seemingly limitless strength, were no longer just tools. They were sacred extensions of her deepest maternal spirit, tangible manifestations of her unwavering commitment to safeguarding existence itself. She trained with a quiet, relentless focus, each practice session pushing the boundaries of her powers, not for personal aggrandizement, but to ensure an impenetrable, unwavering defense against any future cataclysm. Her profound empathy, often misconstrued as a simple gentleness, had revealed itself as a wellspring of indomitable strength, a constant, poignant reminder to her team of the immeasurable value of what they fought so fiercely to preserve, her calming presence a vital anchor in the face of overwhelming chaos. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, carried the incandescent memory of his most explosive battles, the residual heat a constant, potent reminder of the awesome power that coursed through him. The exhilarating, yet terrifying encounter with the Silver Surfer had pushed him to his absolute limits, a dazzling, dangerous peak for his volatile spirit. He emerged from that cosmic inferno with a profound, newfound respect for the forces at play, understanding that raw, unbridled power, while impressive, was not always the ultimate arbiter of victory. His naturally impetuous nature, always eager to blaze a path with fiery abandon, began to mature, recognizing the critical importance of strategic application. He learned to harness his flames not merely for spectacular destruction, but for more nuanced, precise interventions, for diverting imminent threats, for illuminating the encroaching darkness, and even for serving as a hopeful beacon in the bleakest of hours. He remained the team's vibrant, energetic heart. his youthful exuberance as undimmed as ever, but his actions were now guided by a burgeoning maturity, a keenly developed awareness of the far-reaching, often profound, consequences of his powers. Ben Grimm the Thing found a deeper, more resonant meaning in the unyielding solidity of his stony form. The granite that had once felt like a symbol of his tragedy, a prison of his former life, now served as a powerful emblem of their collective resilience, an unshakable anchor in the face of unimaginable adversity. He had literally stood as a monumental bulwark against a cosmic onslaught, his immense strength a tangible, unwavering defense against the utterly unimaginable. His gruff exterior, once a defensive barrier erected against a world that often feared and misunderstood him, now conveyed a sense of comforting, reassuring solidity, a silent, unspoken promise of unwavering protection to the ordinary people who looked to the Fantastic Four with hope and admiration. His loyalty, as unshakable and enduring as his granite hide, remained the steadfast bedrock of their team, a constant, vital reminder that even when confronted with overwhelming cosmic terror, there existed an unyielding force, ready and willing to defend them all, forever prepared for whatever unimaginable challenges the universe might next decide to unleash. The world, blissfully ignorant of the monumental, reality-shattering struggle that had unfolded in the silent, vast expanse high above, continued its ordinary trajectory, its daily rhythms unbroken, its inhabitants oblivious to the precipice they had so narrowly avoided. But for the Fantastic Four, life had been irrevocably transformed, transcended beyond the realm of simple adventure. They were no longer merely explorers charting the unknown, nor accidental heroes thrust into extraordinary circumstances by fate. They had, in essence, become the planet's appointed sentinels, their explorations now imbued with a profound, sacred sense of guardianship. Their lives, once defined by an insatiable scientific curiosity and the sheer thrill of discovery, were now inextricably bound to the vast, often perilous expanse of the cosmos, and their critical, albeit unlikely, role within it. They had gazed directly into the abyss, stared unflinchingly into the void of cosmic annihilation, and emerged not unscathed, but irrevocably bonded, their courage tempered like steel, their purpose solidified into an unwavering resolve, forever ready for whatever cosmic destinies might next unfold, their shared experiences forging a bond stronger and more enduring than any cosmic force known to existence. The 2007 film Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer attempts to build upon the foundation laid by its predecessor, seeking to expand the Marvel Cinematic Universe and introduce iconic characters and grander cosmic stakes. Unfortunately, its execution falls short of its ambitious narrative goals, resulting in a film that feels rushed and underdeveloped, particularly when compared to the richer thematic explorations found in other superhero outings of the era. The core narrative centers on the impending arrival of the Silver Surfer, a harbinger of doom tasked by the enigmatic Galactus to consume Earth. This cosmic threat immediately elevates the stakes beyond the more grounded, personal conflicts of the first film, thrusting the Fantastic Four into a universe-spanning crisis. The Silver Surfer himself, while visually impressive and conceptually intriguing, is presented as a rather one-dimensional antagonist for much of the film. His tragic backstory and inner turmoil, hinted at through fragmented flashbacks, never fully coalesce into a compelling character arc. This is a missed opportunity, as the potential for a nuanced portrayal of a conflicted cosmic being, perhaps drawing inspiration from the Surfer's complex history in the comics as a former herald grappling with his role, is largely untapped. The film prioritizes action and spectacle over a deep dive into his motivations, leaving him feeling more like a plot device than a fully realized character. The Fantastic Four, the titular heroes, also struggle to find their footing in this more expansive narrative. Reed Richards, played by Ioan Gruffudd, continues to embody the brilliant yet often emotionally distant scientist. His arc here is primarily driven by the impending wedding to Sue Storm, a personal milestone juxtaposed against the world-ending threat. Gruffudd's portrayal captures Reed's intelligence and his occasional exasperation with his team, but the film doesn't delve deeply into the philosophical quandaries of his scientific pursuits or the immense pressure he faces as Earth's protector. Jessica Alba as Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, gets more agency, particularly in her exploration of her power's potential, but her character's emotional journey feels somewhat sidelined by the overarching plot. The film hints at her growing frustration with Reed's perceived emotional unavailability, a relatable human conflict that could have been a stronger anchor if given more space to breathe. Ben Grimm, the Thing, portrayed by Michael Chiklis, remains the heart of the team. Chiklis imbues Ben with a gruff exterior and a deeply caring nature, and his desire for a normal life, for a cure to his rocky transformation, is a consistent and effective emotional thread. His interactions with Alicia Masters, played by Kerry Washington, offer some of the film's most genuine moments, exploring themes of love and acceptance. However, even these personal moments feel somewhat truncated, serving more as brief respites from the main action than integral parts of a cohesive character study. Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, continues to inject youthful energy and wisecracking humor into the proceedings. His journey in this film involves dealing with newfound fame and a brief, shall we say, power-swapping incident with the Silver Surfer, an element that, while visually dynamic, feels like a narrative gimmick rather than a meaningful development for his character. The film's visual effects, particularly the rendering of the Silver Surfer and Galactus, were state-of-the-art for their time and still hold up reasonably well. The cosmic scope is ambitious, aiming for grand visual storytelling. However, the pacing often feels relentless, leaping from one action set piece to the next without sufficient time for the audience to process the emotional weight of the events or to fully engage with the characters' dilemmas. The script, penned by Mark Frost and John Turman, along with additional writing by Michael Green and Don Payne, seems to be trying to cram in too many plot points and character introductions, leading to a somewhat disjointed experience. The attempts to weave in elements of the Fantastic Four's wider comic book lore, like the Negative Zone, feel shoehorned in rather than organically integrated. In essence, Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer is a film that prioritizes the rise of its cosmic antagonist and the expansion of its universe over a thorough exploration of its existing characters and their relationships. While it possesses moments of visual splendor and strong performances from its cast, particularly Chiklis, it ultimately struggles to balance its grand cosmic ambitions with the intimate character drama that makes the Fantastic Four so enduring. The inspiration drawn from the comics is evident, but the translation to the screen feels like a streamlined, action-focused interpretation that sacrifices the nuanced storytelling that could have elevated it beyond a mere popcorn flick. The struggle to balance the cosmic and the personal is indeed the film's most significant hurdle. While the arrival of the Silver Surfer and the looming threat of Galactus undeniably inject a sense of epic scale, the emotional grounding of the Fantastic Four feels surprisingly brittle. Reed Richards, a man of science whose genius is meant to be his greatest asset, often appears overwhelmed, not just by the intergalactic danger, but by the simple act of committing to a life with Sue. This internal conflict, the scientist versus the husband-to-be, is a fertile ground for exploration, but the script tends to treat it as a secondary concern, a domestic subplot to be briefly acknowledged before returning to the more pressing matter of planetary survival. Gruffudd's performance, while competent, sometimes struggles to convey the depth of Reed's intellectual turmoil, leaving the audience to infer the weight of his decisions. Sue Storm, a character with immense potential for growth, is frequently relegated to a reactive role. Alba conveys Sue's frustration and her burgeoning sense of self-worth, particularly when she begins to discover the full extent of her powers and her capacity to influence events beyond mere invisibility. However, the film often uses her emotional arcs as a catalyst for plot progression rather than allowing them to unfold organically. Her desire for a stable, loving relationship with Reed is a relatable human need, but it's often overshadowed by the need to deploy her powers in a crisis. The moments where she asserts herself, where her empathy and determination shine through, are compelling, but they feel like glimpses of a stronger character arc that the film ultimately doesn't fully commit to. Ben Grimm's portrayal by Michael Chiklis remains a steadfast beacon of relatable humanity amidst the extraordinary. His gruff exterior is a perfect foil for his deeply protective and loving nature, and his enduring hope for a cure, while a classic comic book trope, resonates because Chiklis sells the genuine longing behind it. The scenes with Alicia Masters, brilliantly played by Kerry Washington, are perhaps the most emotionally resonant in the entire film. Their quiet moments, their unspoken understanding, and their unwavering support for each other offer a glimpse of the genuine connection that makes the Fantastic Four more than just a team of superpowered individuals. However, these tender interludes are often too brief, serving as palate cleansers before the next bout of action, leaving the audience yearning for more time spent exploring the complexities of their bond and the external pressures they face. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, continues to be the charismatic wild card. Chris Evans injects him with an infectious energy and a confident swagger that makes him a fan favorite. His subplot involving a temporary exchange of powers with the Silver Surfer, while visually exciting and providing some humorous moments, feels more like a forced plot device to showcase both characters' abilities rather than a meaningful development for Johnny's personal journey. While he grapples with his fame and the responsibility that comes with it, the film doesn't delve deeply into the psychological impact of being a celebrity superhero or the potential existential questions that might arise from his extraordinary life. His youthful exuberance, while entertaining, sometimes masks a lack of deeper emotional exploration. The visual spectacle, while impressive for its time, often feels like it's compensating for narrative deficiencies. The grand design of the Silver Surfer, his sleek cosmic form gliding through the atmosphere, is breathtaking. The introduction of Galactus as a cosmic entity, initially appearing as a swirling nebula, is a visually arresting concept. Yet the relentless pace, the constant barrage of action sequences, leaves little room for contemplation or emotional investment. The film's ambition to be a grand, cosmic adventure inadvertently leads to a feeling of being rushed, as if the filmmakers were more concerned with ticking off plot points and delivering impressive visual effects than with crafting a truly compelling narrative. The attempt to integrate elements from the broader Fantastic Four lore, such as the Negative Zone, feels less like organic world-building and more like a series of allusions to appease comic book aficionados, without fully integrating them into the film's central conflict in a meaningful way. The film aspires to be a high-stakes cosmic epic, but in its haste to reach for the stars, it often loses sight of the grounded human stories that made the Fantastic Four a beloved team in the first place. The Silver Surfer himself, Norrin Radd, embodies a profound tragedy that the film only skims the surface of. His existence as a herald of Galactus is a sacrifice born of love and desperation, a narrative thread rich with potential for exploring themes of moral compromise and existential burden. Douglas Jones, through his physicality and nuanced performance, aided by Andy Serkis's motion capture, imbues the surfer with a melancholic grace, his movements conveying a weariness that belies his cosmic power. However, the film's reliance on fragmented flashbacks to convey his backstory leaves his internal struggle feeling more like exposition than an integral part of his character arc. The audience is told of his pain and his conflict, but rarely feels it deeply. His eventual defiance against Galactus, while visually striking, lacks the emotional weight it could have possessed if his journey had been more thoroughly explored, showcasing his genuine torment and his yearning for redemption. His relationship with Alicia Masters, a brief but impactful encounter, hints at a potential for connection and understanding across vast differences, a promising avenue that is sadly underdeveloped. The overarching narrative, while attempting to weave in the classic Galactus is hungry plot, feels convoluted. The introduction of Victor Von Doom, previously a primary antagonist, now reduced to a manipulative figure pulling strings from afar, feels like an attempt to bridge the gap between the first film and this one, without fully integrating his presence into the core conflict. His motivations for aiding the Silver Surfer, a desperate bid for personal gain, serve as a stark contrast to the selflessness the Fantastic Four often embody, but his role ultimately feels tangential to the main cosmic threat. This narrative contrivance detracts from the focused intensity that a singular, overwhelming threat like Galactus should inspire. The thematic undercurrents of the film, particularly those concerning family, sacrifice, and the burdens of power, are present but often overshadowed by the relentless pace. The Fantastic Four's journey is meant to be one of growth, both as individuals and as a cohesive unit. Reed's struggle to balance his personal life with his global responsibilities, Sue's burgeoning self-discovery, Ben's enduring hope for normalcy, and Johnny's navigation of fame and power are all compelling individual arcs. However, the film struggles to give these arcs the necessary space to breathe, constantly pulling the audience back into the spectacle of impending destruction. The emotional core of the team, their unwavering loyalty to one another despite their disparate personalities and struggles, is a fundamental aspect of the Fantastic Four's enduring appeal. While this loyalty is demonstrated through their united front against the Silver Surfer and Galactus, the film doesn't spend enough time exploring the quiet moments of support and understanding that forge such unbreakable bonds. The inspiration drawn from the comics is evident in the characters and their powers, but the execution often feels like a Cliff's Notes version of their rich mythos, prioritizing the visually impressive over the emotionally resonant, leaving a sense of what could have been. The film's conclusion, while aiming for a triumphant resolution, ultimately feels somewhat anticlimactic. The Silver Surfer's decision to betray Galactus and protect Earth, while a necessary turning point, is reached with a surprisingly abrupt shift in his internal conflict. One moment he is seemingly resigned to his fate, the next he is a full-fledged hero, his transformation less a culmination of a deeply felt struggle and more a plot necessity. This expediency, while understandable for narrative momentum, robs the character of the profound catharsis he deserves. Similarly, Galactus himself, despite his awe-inspiring cosmic presence, is dispatched with a degree of ease that undercuts the immense threat he posed. The ultimate fate of Galactus, a being of cosmic hunger, being defeated by a wave of the power cosmic, feels more like a convenient narrative reset button than a satisfying resolution to a conflict that threatened the entire planet. The film's ending, therefore, leaves the audience with a sense of having witnessed a grand spectacle, but one that lacked the emotional resonance to truly linger. It was a conclusion that provided closure, but not necessarily satisfaction, a testament to the film's overarching struggle to imbue its epic narrative with a truly human heart. The foundations for a compelling story were present, drawing from a rich comic book legacy, but the execution ultimately prioritized the visual and the immediate over the deeper, more enduring qualities that define great storytelling. The film's closing act, in its haste to tie up narrative threads, misses opportunities to solidify the team's growth. Reed Richards, having grappled with the weight of his impending marriage and the fate of the world, is offered little in the way of a truly introspective moment. His presumed acceptance of his dual roles as a scientist and a husband feels more like a foregone conclusion than a hard-won understanding. Sue Storm, who has demonstrated newfound confidence and power, doesn't quite ascend to the fully realized hero she could have been. Her future leadership potential, hinted at throughout, remains largely latent. Ben Grimm's arc, while consistently endearing, concludes with his ongoing desire for a cure, a poignant reminder of his perpetual struggle, but the film doesn't offer a concrete step forward, leaving his personal quest in a state of hopeful stasis. Johnny Storm's character, having experienced the bizarre power swap and the fleeting fame, doesn't necessarily emerge with a profound new perspective, his youthful exuberance largely intact, leaving his personal development feeling less significant than the cosmic events surrounding him. The overall resolution feels less like a earned victory and more like a fortunate escape. The narrative's focus on the immediate threat, preventing a deeper examination of how these characters have fundamentally changed or what challenges they might face as a result of their recent ordeals. The thematic exploration of responsibility, love, and sacrifice while present ultimately feels somewhat superficial, a collection of poignant moments rather than a deeply integrated exploration of human resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. The film ends, not with a sense of profound evolution for its heroes, but with a collective sigh of relief, leaving the audience to wonder if the true rise was not of the Silver Surfer, but of the cinematic potential that remained largely unfulfilled. The lingering impact of the film's narrative choices is particularly felt in how the Fantastic Four's internal dynamics are portrayed. The wedding of Reed and Sue, intended as a unifying personal event, becomes another plot point to be disrupted by cosmic interference, rather than a genuine exploration of their evolving relationship and the pressures it faces. The film suggests a deeper friction between Reed's scientific obsessions and Sue's desire for a more emotionally present partner, but this nuanced conflict is often sidelined by more immediate dangers. Alba's performance hints at Sue's growing assertiveness and her own considerable power, but the script doesn't fully allow her to step into a leadership role or explore the complexities of her emotions beyond her reactions to external threats. This is a missed opportunity, as Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, has a rich comic book history of emotional intelligence and quiet strength that could have anchored the grander cosmic stakes. Ben Grimm's unwavering loyalty and his enduring hope for a cure remain the emotional bedrock of the team. Chiklis imbues him with such genuine warmth and vulnerability that his struggles feel deeply personal, even amidst the intergalactic chaos. His interactions with Alicia Masters, played with gentle strength by Kerry Washington, offer a rare glimpse of tenderness and unwavering acceptance, showcasing a love that transcends physical form. These moments, while few, are potent reminders of what the Fantastic Four fight for. However, even these tender interludes feel somewhat truncated, serving more as brief respites from the main action than integral parts of a cohesive character study, leaving the audience yearning for more time spent exploring the complexities of their bond and the external pressures they face. The film tries to provide Johnny with a moment of maturity by having him face the consequences of his actions, but it feels more like a plot contrivance than a genuine character evolution. The film's visual spectacle, while impressive for its time, often feels like it's compensating for narrative deficiencies. The Silver Surfer's narrative arc, while intended to be the film's emotional core, feels strangely disjointed. His transformation from a dutiful servant of Galactus to a protector of Earth is predicated on his interactions with humanity, specifically Sue Storm and her influence. Yet these moments of profound realization feel underdeveloped. His connection to Alicia Masters, a potential bridge to his lost humanity and a symbol of unconditional love, is fleeting, a brief flicker of possibility that is extinguished by the demands of the plot. The flashbacks, while providing glimpses into his past and the sacrifice he made for his homeworld, are too sparse to fully convey the depth of his internal conflict. We are told he is tormented, that his service to Galactus is a burden, but the film rarely allows us to truly feel the weight of that burden. This emotional distance makes his eventual defiance feel less like a hard-won redemption and more like a narrative necessity to facilitate the film's conclusion. The visual poetry of his flight, while stunning, cannot fully compensate for the emotional void at the heart of his character. Victor Von Doom's presence in this sequel feels like a narrative echo from the past, an attempt to maintain continuity rather than a vital contribution to the present conflict. Reduced to a shadowy manipulator, his motivations for assisting the Silver Surfer, a desperate gambit for personal power, stand in stark contrast to the selfless heroism the Fantastic Four strive for. While Doom's Machiavellian nature is consistent, his role as a secondary antagonist, orchestrating events from afar, dilutes the impact of the primary cosmic threat. His eventual demise, a seemingly convenient removal from the narrative, feels anticlimactic. A loose end tied up with minimal fanfare, further underscoring the film's struggle to integrate its established characters into the new, grander narrative without sacrificing their established importance. The potential for a more compelling conflict between Doom and the Fantastic Four, perhaps on Earth, is overshadowed by the galactic stakes, leaving his character feeling like an afterthought. The film's exploration of themes like family, sacrifice, and the burden of immense power remains largely on the surface. The impending wedding of Reed and Sue, a significant personal milestone, is repeatedly interrupted, its emotional weight diffused by the constant barrage of extraterrestrial threats. While these disruptions highlight the sacrifices heroes make, they also prevent a genuine exploration of how these personal relationships are tested and strengthened. Sue's arc, hinting at her growing independence and power, is unfortunately curtailed by the need for her to serve as a plot device, either to be rescued or to unleash her powers in a critical moment. The audience is left with a sense that the characters are constantly reacting to external forces rather than driving their own emotional journeys. The inspiration from the comics is evident in the character archetypes and their iconic abilities, but the translation to the screen often feels like a hurried attempt to deliver a high-octane spectacle, sacrificing the deeper, character-driven narratives that make the Fantastic Four's mythology so enduring. The film's deliberate pacing, or rather its lack thereof, is a pervasive issue that hinders genuine emotional resonance. The narrative often rushes from one set piece to the next, leaving little room for the audience to absorb the gravity of the situation or connect with the characters' internal struggles. Reed Richards' brilliance is showcased, but his internal conflict, the tension between his scientific mind and his desire for a stable personal life, remains largely unexplored territory. Ioan Gruffudd brings a earnestness to Reed, but the script rarely grants him the quiet moments needed to convey the profound ethical dilemmas his scientific pursuits might entail, or the sheer emotional toll of being Earth's primary defender. His commitment issues, while hinted at, feel more like plot conveniences than deeply ingrained character flaws. Sue Storm, as the Invisible Woman, embodies a potential for quiet strength and emotional intelligence that the film frequently underutilizes. Jessica Alba's performance hints at Sue's burgeoning self-awareness and her growing frustration with Reed's emotional distance, but these moments are often overshadowed by the demands of the external plot. Her capacity to mediate and to understand key aspects of her comic book persona are hinted at but rarely allowed to fully blossom. She is, at times, a catalyst for plot progression, her emotions serving to move the narrative forward, rather than being given the space to develop organically. Her desire for a stable, loving relationship, a deeply human aspiration, is frequently relegated to the background, a subplot that pales in comparison to the impending cosmic doom. Michael Chiklis's portrayal of Ben Grimm, the Thing, continues to be a highlight, injecting the film with a much-needed dose of humanity and heart. Ben's gruff exterior is a perfect mask for his deeply caring nature, and his longing for a normal life, for a cure to his monstrous transformation, remains a potent and relatable emotional thread. His interactions with Alicia Masters, played with tender vulnerability by Kerry Washington, are among the film's most affecting. Their connection, a testament to love's ability to transcend superficial appearances, offers a glimpse of genuine emotional depth. However, these tender interludes are often too brief, serving more as brief respites from the relentless action than integral components of a cohesive character study, leaving the audience yearning for more time spent exploring the complexities of their bond. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, as brought to life by Chris Evans, injects the film with youthful energy and a charismatic swagger that is undeniably entertaining. His transformation, particularly the temporary exchange of powers with the Silver Surfer, while visually dynamic, feels more like a narrative gimmick designed to showcase the character's abilities than a significant development in his personal journey. Evans's performance